Oh my goodness. You simply cannot bring up certain subjects. This goes back to the conversation I had the last time I was live when I talked about how boxing fans are often opinionated, ungrateful, and blithering idiots. That's right. That's what I said the last time I was on. That's what I said. That's what I said. Because boxing fans insist on arguing about, arbitrarily, I might add, about any variety of subjects. New Country Guy was good. Mike Foster was good. You know what I'm saying? I talked about that Devin Haney, Vasyl Lomachenko situation. There are still so many people that just can't accept that situation for what it was. That it wasn't about Devin Haney and it wasn't about Vasyl Lomachenko. And what it really was about was content. That's what that situation was about. And no matter how many times I explain this, there are still people that can't process it. There's still people that want to go with, oh, Loma was ducking Devin, or Devin hasn't fought anybody. I can't tell you how tired I am of hearing that. Happy Sunday, y'all. George, Orlando, JD, Sergio, was rocking New Country Guy, Jaho, George, Melvin, Midwest Box Talks was goody. You know what I'm saying? I was good. You came. How you doing, bro? I get so tired of hearing people say things like this fighter hasn't fought anyone and that fighter hasn't fought anyone, when yes, it's true. There are fighters out there whose resumes are kind of thin. But before you go levying criticism, you have to also ask, okay, who wants to fight those fighters? And have they walked away from those fights, you know? I can't stress that enough, especially when it comes to a guy like Devin. Like, yeah, Devin's resume is thin. It is. But who do you see trying to fight him? Don't sit here preaching to me that his resume's thin, but you can't tell me anybody who's in a hurry to fight him. His resume's going to be thin if nobody wants to fight him. UK Rob was good. Vladdy TV was good. Pete was good. You know what I'm saying? I was talking about the Devin Haney, Vasyl Lomachenko situation. I was talking about that situation. And how, and I can't stress this enough. I've said it so many times. Every time I say it, I think it registers, but it doesn't. It's either that or because the channel's getting a little bigger, slowly, but still getting bigger. There are people out there that maybe didn't see those videos, that don't understand that the reason that Bob Arum, Top Rank, pushed for Vasyl Lomachenko to become a franchise champion is so that he'd never end up in a purse bid situation, at least not via the WBC. That's what that was all about. That's what that was about. It wasn't about Bob being scared of Devin or Loma being scared of Devin. It was never about that. What it was about was Bob stopping Eddie Hearn from reaching into the DAZN's wallet in a purse bid situation and forcing Vasyl Lomachenko to either fight on DAZN or vacate his title. That's what that was about. It wasn't about quack, quack, quack. But, you know, like I said, boxing fans, man, boxing fans are the only sports fans of any organized sport that I know that continuously talk about a sport they don't understand. Tyrese was good. Gabe was good. Devontae was good. Was goody, Tyrese. Do you think Crawford? Nah, that doesn't. Nah, they'll come to him, New Country Guy. They'll come to him. He won't have to go to them. Jose Ramirez, after he fights Josh Taylor, plans on moving up to 147. But so does Josh. If you know, the both of them have the same plan of action, so he doesn't have to go to them. Yeah, JD, right about that too. Right about that too. You know what I'm saying? Nobody understands that. Every fight that doesn't happen for the same reasons. I feel like he might fight John Ryder, Orlando. I feel like he might fight that guy. I'm kind of hoping that he does because I think that's a good fight. But we'll see. I was goody, that guy. I was goody, Jedi. I'm hoping he fights John Ryder, but like I said, we'll see. With Canelo, you never know. You never really know. Oh yeah, Sir Campbell. I gotta eat this pork chop. Look at it this way, bro. I look at it this way. 147 is not giving me the fights that it promised me, so I don't patronize it. I rather worry about flyweight, super flyweight. I rather worry about super featherweight, lightweight, divisions where there's a good chance that I'll see a unification fight and it won't take a century. I understand that Spence versus Porter happened, but that fight happened at a time when we was asking for something else. And I'm not gonna keep putting up with the excuses that fans who want to be managers, I'm not gonna put up with those excuses, because you gotta strike while the iron is hot. You gotta make fights when the fights is hot, because boxing is a sport where anything can happen. So if you sit on that Crawford Spence fight too long, it might not happen. Hell yeah, I eat swine. Goddamn right I do. I'm a swine. Better understand that fucking shit. I'm a swine. Mm-hmm. I don't know why Campos Vasquez always tries to tell me Wilder's the face of boxing. You know what he's the face of? He is the face of cherry picks gone wrong. If he's the face of anything, he's the face of that. You put so much attention into that Fury fight, man. You could have fought Joshua. You poured all your energy into fighting Fury again. It couldn't have worked out better. Yo, Walker Smith, check this out. Yeah, Bud's the oldest, but Bud keeps himself in shape. Go to Terrence Crawford's Instagram and see what he's doing. And then go to Keith Thurman's Instagram between fights. Or Errol Spence's Instagram between fights. Or Danny Garcia's. Nah, I didn't see it, but now that you told me about it, I'm going to watch it later on, bro. I appreciate that, George. Now that you told me about it, I'm going to go watch it. I've been busy grinding. It's a lot of stories coming out, and I'm trying to cover all of them. I haven't even gotten the chance to really cover and discuss Dillian White leaving Mark Tibbs. I haven't gotten a chance to discuss that yet because there's so many stories coming out. All right, what's rocking, Tony? Yeah, I want to see Charlo versus Andre too, bro, but I don't think I'm ever going to get to see that fight, bro. It depends. It depends. This is a good question. It depends, bro. Because if Conlon doesn't fight him, you have to remember that there are still travel restrictions. So it depends. If there are still travel restrictions, even though Conlon is in a prime position to fight Navarrete for the belt, he might not be available to fight. Jesse Magdaleno might be nearby, so they might make the fight between them. That's why I'm not even in a hurry to say, oh, he going to duck him. I'm going to say two things. One, it's about availability. And two, it's about whether or not his team decides to take it. It's not just, oh, Conlon don't want the fight. It could also be that, you know what, they're too far away to make the fight. It's too much trouble to get over here right now, so maybe they don't have it. It's a lot of different things. But I'm not gonna jump to the conclusion that he's ducking just yet. I'm gonna just say I don't expect that fight to happen. I do not expect Mick Conlon at, what is he, 13-0? I don't expect him to be put in that fight. I don't. He's gonna fight Fortuna, new country guy. He's gonna fight Fortuna in August. He's gonna fight Javier Fortuna, bro. All right, what's good, Idel Perez? Could you please talk about how boxing doesn't back up fighters after a loss? The greatest fighters. Yeah, I'll talk about that. The reason that is, and the good news about that is that boxing fans are finding out more and more, or at least they're being reminded. Boxing is a sport where most fighters don't retire undefeated. 95% of these fighters will not retire undefeated, right? The only reason that people started glorifying the O and worrying about the O is because of the Mayweather era. I don't knock Mayweather for it. If you're good enough that you could fight that quality of competition and stay undefeated, that's great. But that is not normal either. So you can't think that everybody's going to go out how Mayweather went out or how Andre Ward and Joe Calzaghe, Rocky Marciano, Finito Lopez. Everybody ain't going to go out with a O. Some people, they going to have a couple of losses when they go out. That don't mean they was bad fighters. That don't mean they bad fighters here today. Look, Regis Prograis has a loss, but he still beat most of the guys at 140 pounds. But he has a loss, you know. Regis Prograis is one of the best 140-pound fighters in the division, but he has a loss, you know. Pablo Cano had 7 losses when he beat the brakes off of Jorge Linares. He had more losses than Jorge, but he stopped them in the first round. The fighter having losses is not necessarily what you have to look at. You have to look at everything. All right, does the fighter have losses? How many losses does he have? How soon did he lose those fights? Was it in his last 6 fights? Because that'll tell you what his next 6 fights is going to look like. It's a lot of things you got to look at. How does the fighter perform? Is he still performing? Can he still perform? It's not just, oh, well, he lost the fight, so he sucks. But, you know, that's a lot of ignorant people, man. A lot of ignorant people. That's how they think, man. What do you think about ESPN recent viewership? Shakur and Bachel. Well, this is that's a good question, Ivan, because a lot of people are looking at the numbers and they're looking at it and thinking, oh, well, it's not a million. Oh, well, it's not like 2 million, right? But the thing you got to look at is they look at those numbers from that broadcast and they compare them to last year's numbers to see whether the views are up or the views are down. One report that I saw showed that the numbers were comparable, that the numbers were about the same as they were the year before. In that way, it's not a bad thing. Long as the numbers ain't down, then it's all right. If the numbers are about the same, then it's negligible, you know? Yeah, man, like there's a lot of good fighters. Like, you know, we talk about it all the time, Adele. Juan Manuel Marquez lost his first professional fight. Bernard Hopkins lost his first professional fight. This chick from Argentina, Tigresa Cunha, who went on to become one of the most accomplished Argentinian women fighters in the sport. She lost, I think, a couple of her early fights. I think she lost her first one. Because that's not a real, I didn't ignore it. I did a couple of videos about it, bro. You want to come on here and talk about it with me? I would love for you to come on here and try to make Glovegate a real thing when the fight is going through, bro. That fight is happening. So all that Glovegate conspiracy stuff ain't nothing but a way for YouTubers to make money off of slow people. That's all that is. That's all that is, bro. I was goody hustle. If you sitting around thinking that YouTube conspiracy theory is going to go somewhere, you should be asking yourself, why is Wilder not suing Tyson Fury? Why are they still fighting? If y'all think, and y'all Wilder's team, and y'all think that Tyson Fury cheated and tried to kill Wilder, then why the hell would you let him fight him for a third time? That doesn't make sense, bro. Shelly Finkel, Wilder's manager, never mind Bob Arum, never mind Frank Warren, never mind Tyson Fury. Shelly Finkel was already asked, yo, is Wilder going to step out of the Fury fight? He said no. I don't know why people keep asking me that. I was rocking, bro. You know what I'm saying? When do you expect Warrington versus Sue? I expect that in the fall months. I thought that Eddie would give us that fight in August, but now I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe he waits till October. Maybe he waits till late September or early October. Yeah, that's going to be a great fight, LT. That's going to be a great fight. But, you know, Kansu is not known to the American casual boxing fan, so they don't understand that, like, yo, that's going to be a hell of a fight. That's going to be a war, bro. That is going to be a war. I got I'm leaning towards Navarrete, Ivan. I'm leaning towards Navarrete. I want to get a look at Magdaleno's last two fights. I'm gonna do that once the fight is announced. Shout out to Chet Collins. I appreciate that. Good evening to you as well. You picking Kansu, bro? That's ballsy, man. But you know what? I see why. If y'all been keeping up with Kansu during the pandemic, that kid, man, just watch out for him. Don't look past him. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't look past him. I don't know, Angel. I would like to think that Verdejo can turn it around. I really would like to think that. Like, damn, dog, that accident really ruined your career like that? That you're never gonna be the same? But it's too soon to tell. I don't know what's missing for him. I don't know if it's that he needs a certain trainer or is it that he was just never that good to begin with and we was too high on him. I don't know. Because it's not like he was. The other thing about Verdejo is that it's not like he was all that proven before the motorcycle accident. It's not like he was all that proven before that. So I don't know. I got Dubois. I got Daniel Dubois knocking out Joe Joyce. I've said it many times, and I'm saying it here again. I have Daniel Dubois knocking out Joe Joyce. I think that the hand speed is going to be the difference. I think Joe takes a good punch, but he does take punches, man. He got caught a couple of times with Brian Jennings. If Brian Jennings was a bigger puncher, who knows what would have happened in that fight? That's never been Bryant Jennings' forte. He's never been a very big puncher. He's been athletic, mobile, elusive, but he was never that big a puncher. Let someone who hits like Daniel connect on Joe like that. Joe's hitting the deck. Joe is hitting the deck. Ooh, I see people picking Povetkin. I like that. But I honestly can't blame you guys. I haven't had the chance to talk about Dillian White and Mark Tibbs splitting up, but in reference to the Povetkin fight, I never like to see that you about to go into a fight with an elite level fighter. This is not a tune-up fight, and there's changes to the camp. I'm not gonna like that. I want things to be the way they have been, because the way that they have been, you've been winning. You take Mark Tibbs out of it. Now I don't know what's going to happen. Now I don't know what I'm working with. What are you going to look like when you go out there now? Man, listen, man. Hergovic got to fight somebody before you get so high on him, L-Dog. I got to check you on Philippe, bro. Hergovic need to fight somebody. I think he has potential, but it ain't like he got like a good resume for a prospect. I have to give him that. As far as like a prospect, like a guy who ain't got a lot of fights, he been fighting some all right guys. But I'm not high on him neither, because you haven't fought nobody, bro. Like you haven't fought nobody that I'm gonna call somebody like, yo, you seen Hergovic? Did you see the? Oh yeah, I saw Dana White has Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua in it. I don't know what the point of that is. To me, it's a slap in the face of the boxing fans that the only way we could play as the boxers that we watch is if we play a UFC game. Ain't that a slap in the face? That's a slap in the face. Slap in the face. That's what that is. A slap in the face. We'll post this link in the description box. Let's see you won't get a come here talk this boxings. Yeah, man. I mean, Hergovic is on schedule. This is what I'm gonna say. LT. Hergovic is actually ahead of schedule. Believe it or not, he's fighting the kind of guys that he wouldn't normally be fighting if he wasn't good until a couple more fights. You know, so he's actually ahead of schedule. He's coming along well. It's just that I reiterate, I'm not high on him yet. You haven't given me no reason to be high on you yet. Not yet. You got to do something better than Eric Molina for me to be like, all right, that guy is going to be a problem. Shout out to Pterodactyl. I appreciate that. Dillian is a loose cannon. Are we surprised he's always in trouble, making trouble? Not really. Not really. Dillian is you know what people in America don't understand. Dillian is a street dude. Like he bug out. Like he's a street dude, bro. That dude. Why you think he like that? Yeah, look, LT, I'm not going to talk about that. I got a video coming up all about that. So I'm not going to talk about that on the live. But I am going to address that subject later on today. I got a video coming out about it later on today. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Bros, Walker, everybody. Yes, I'm going to talk about it, but it ain't going to be on this live because I already did a segment on it in a video that I'm about to upload later on today. Fight night would do so well. Had one in years, and even MMA fans prefer to stand up striking. Yeah, did you guys watch that Masvidal Usman fight, man? God, that joint was terrible. That joint was terrible. And I tried to watch it, bro. I tried, but that fight was terrible. Hey, country, did you watch that Usman fight? Country muted himself. That fight was terrible, man. I mean, the Rose Namajunas fight. That was,
oh yeah, I didn't get to see that. I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
You didn't miss nothing, bro. You didn't miss nothing. Like that was like literally, and that is why. And once again, with respect to MMA and its fans, I'm just saying that I can't watch that, bro. I can't watch that. I can't watch a dude. I was good, Pterodactyl. I can't watch a dude lean on another dude for 2 minutes trying to step on his feet. And what did that cost people? How much did it cost people to watch that? What was that, like $60?
Yeah, that's ridiculous, man.
This is mad loud.
Hey, what's good, Pterodactyl?
What's good, sir? You good?
Yeah, man. Just thinking about how, like, look. The Rose Namajunas fight. I don't know if you saw the MMA card this weekend. I'm not an MMA fan at all, right? At all. But I thoroughly enjoyed watching Thug Rose fight. I really like that kid. She's very entertaining. She has a very good aesthetic. She's an intriguing personality. I like this girl. But
I don't watch it whenever it's on. I watch it, but I don't really go out my way to tune in and watch it. But if it's on in the background, yeah, I'll sit down and watch it. But you get me?
Yeah, same, about the same, man, about the same. Now, the main event was one of the more terrible. That was one of the best examples, I should say, one of the best examples of why I'm not a mixed martial arts fan. I cannot watch two guys just leaning on each other, and they just leaning, and that's what the fight was, bro. He was pressed up against Masvidal for like 2 minutes, trying to step on his feet. I can't watch that, bro. Like, come on, man, break him up, ref. Like, smack him, do something.
Well, you know what? People can make that debate for boxing, like, you know what I mean? That chess move game, like, people say, I can't watch boxing for that long. No one's knocking each other out. It's all back and forth. Nothing's really happening. People can make that same.
I guess, but it's like, look, there's deducting a point for excessive clinching in boxing. That if the guy's holding too much. Yeah. The ref is going to break it up and you're going to lose a point.
Yeah, I get that. But I'm saying, because like, let's say someone like you and I don't really watch the MMA like that, too tough. We would say like that, oh, we can't watch that. But whereas someone that's a casual boxing fan and nothing really much is going on and you're just jabbing, they could say, I can't watch that. Like, where's the brutal bang? You get what I'm trying to
that's a fair point because boxing does have quiet moments. I mean, anybody that saw Easter versus Bartholomew, oh my god, that. I'm not telling you to watch that fight. I'm saying that's one of the more terrible fights I've ever seen. Now I'm gonna ask you guys a question. We got some fights coming up. All right, I'm gonna start with L Dog because L Dog want to keep shitting on Dillian White for Philippe Hergovic. Philippe ain't shown me nothing yet, bro. But what I am going to ask you is Dillian White about to fight Povetkin. What do you see happening in that fight?
Well, to be honest, it's a good fight for promotional reasons. Povetkin is a short 40-year-old, way past his prime, fat guy who's coming off a draw to a cruiserweight. So Dillian White should knock him out. Now, that being said, I know Povetkin is far more accomplished than my guy Filip Hrgovic and all that. So, yeah, but I just think he's old. He's past his best. You know, he suffered the knockout to AJ. He just hasn't been looking sensational since. So I think Dillian White should win.
I'll say that the last memory before I ask you, Pterodactyl and Country, about the Povetkin fight, I'll say that the last memory we have of Dillian is the Marius Vach fight, and that's why we're kind of looking like that, because he looked, as far as I'm concerned, he looked great in the Rivas fight. He looked great. The jab looked great. The movement looked great. The timing looked great. Every time Rivas tried to come forward, he got popped in the face with a left hand. He looked great in that fight. But the last time we seen him wasn't the Rivas fight. It was the short notice Marius Vach fight. And that is my last memory.
And all I remember is everyone trying to tell me that Rivas fight was super close, bro. I saw Dillian outboxing him.
Yeah, that's how I seen it.
Outboxing him, like just flat out looked a level above.
Yeah. And
that fight was not super close. I don't know what people be like.
Yeah, that's like when people tell me Wallin beat Fury. Nah.
Well, I don't know what people are saying, because even the coaches in Oscar Rivas' corner, they were like, "What the hell are you doing?" Like, if they were panicking in the corner, like, what were people watching? You get me?
Exactly. Now I'm gonna ask you, Pterodactyl. Okay, Dillian White, Alexander Povetkin. There's no more Tibbs anymore. We got to factor that into the equation. There's no more Tibbs. All right. So, how do you see the fight going?
Boy, Povetkin is old, but I really, really hope that he really gets on his game and use his experience, and his ring generalship at the end of the day. Like, he's really, really old, and I want to say he's past it. Maybe one or two fights, depending on how he gets on with one or two fights, we can really say he's past it. But both of them just need to come in great shape. Then we'll be able to make, you know what I mean? I just hope to see a good fight. But him fighting, who did he fight? Michael Hunter last, and that was a draw, right? That I don't know. I think he should have taken, with the experience he had, he should have really taken that Hunter out easily.
That's a fair point.
He's got mad experience over Hunter. Hunter's really just a come forward type of slugger. He's not really technically sound like that. Do you know what I mean? So like, he shouldn't really have had any problems with Hunter. Do you know what I mean?
I agree and I disagree. I agree.
In terms of Hunter being young and that stamina, like Povetkin will fall one, Hunter will fall 2, 3, 4. I get that, but him as been in the game for ages, like that shouldn't be a problem.
Take him out. He should have been able to take him out. Yeah, exactly. I agree, and I do agree with that. As much experience as Povetkin has, if he was still sharp, he would have took Michael out of there. He'd have got him out of there.
That's true, man. That's why I say
Michael Hunter appears like a sparring type of partner type. Do you know what I mean? That's the way he comes across when he fights. You know what I mean? He's he's still sparring, like just coming.
I'll say this is where I disagree. I think that Michael is a little technical because that's what he's got. He's got his athleticism, his movement, his jab, getting in and out. That's what he has because he ain't got power. Not at heavyweight.
Yeah.
Not at heavy. He ain't got power. But he has movement. He has ability. So I'll say he's skillful, but I do agree that if Povetkin was still Povetkin of old, Hunter don't hear the final bell. No way. He don't hear the final bell.
Yeah, Povetkin pre-Joshua definitely stops him.
All right, now I'm going to ask you, Country. Dillian White, Alexander Povetkin, what do you think happens in that fight?
Okay, here's my description of this. Let's see. Okay, Povetkin is an aging fighter. However, he definitely still has skills that he can rely on. White is a good boxer and a good fighter, but he tends to, lack a little bit on the defensive side, and he tends to let himself get hit a little too much sometimes. I think that's going to make for an interesting fight in the early rounds. I think we're going to see Povetkin catching him and landing on him a lot more. However, if Povetkin starts getting a little too hit happy, that's where it could be dangerous. Because if Povetkin's going to lose the fight, he's going to lose it because of the fact that White was able to blast him with a punch solidly. If Povetkin doesn't get blasted solidly by White with a punch, I see Povetkin pulling it off on points.
Really? Points.
That's what I think. But if he gets caught, he'll get knocked out.
All right, let's take it to Intangible. Let's take it to Intangible. He just joined us. Shout out to Intangible. Okay, Intangible. Dillian White, Alexander Povetkin, going down in August. It's going down in August, man. You got to grab your nuts. You got to give us a prediction, man.
First of all, salute to the whole panel. Salute to Ring IQ, man. Let me do my prediction for real.
Salute to you too, my brother.
What's up, man? Salute, brother.
Yeah, bro. Salute to the whole Ring IQ BC, bro. All right. Let me do my actual prediction. So for this fight, I give Povetkin a very good chance to win. I think he definitely has more boxing skills and he does more things well than Dillian White, in my opinion. I think Dillian White has made quite a bit out of the tools in his toolbox and the gifts that he's received from God, even though he's just not. I just don't think he's quite that dude, and he's not a guy who's going to be able to sustain a jab and move type of a style for 12 rounds against a guy like a Povetkin who's good at moving his head and slipping by the jab and getting inside of you and landing big looping shots. I just don't think it's sustainable, and he doesn't have Mark Tibbs, so who knows what kind of effect that'll have on him. So I think we're kind of going to see a little bit of a mixture of the old White and the new White. We're going to see him sort of using his jab, but still standing his ground at the same time and using physicality. I think he's going to go to the body quite a bit and try to wear Povetkin down. Povetkin's best chance early in the fight is if he's able to get by White's jab, White pivots, and then he lands a right hand to the temple. That, in my opinion, would be the shot he lands that knocks him out because White's balance is not very good. And when he pivots, he's usually off balance. He usually leans way too far to his back foot. And I think Povetkin, if he doesn't, before he gasses after probably the third round, he has a very good chance at knocking him out. And White is going to have to go through some punishment in order to be able to get him out of there. But I think White eventually will. I think it's just a safer bet to go with the guy getting a knockout late than a guy getting a knockout early.
Okay, now I'm going to pass this.
I think that's a good analysis, to be fair. The only thing, now that I'm looking back, though, if Povetkin couldn't get Hunter out of there, how the hell is he going to deal with White? Because you know what Dylan White, like he'll lean on you, he will just like put his elbow in your face, he will make it rough for Povetkin.
But the thing with Povetkin that we got to remember is you don't want him to get close to you. The last thing you want, the way Joshua beat him, the way Klitschko beat him, full extension on the punch, straight shots from the outside coming in, or straight shots moving sideways or backwards. If you in the pocket with Povetkin, you giving away the fight because that's where he want to be at.
Yeah.
Hey, can I just say something? Is it pterodactyl?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't really like the whole train of thought when it comes to if he couldn't knock out Michael Hunter, how can he knock out White? Because, I mean, let me put it to you this way. If Fury couldn't knock out Pianetta, and he really couldn't knock out Sefer Safari, how come he knocked out Deontay Wilder?
Because Deontay Wilder sucks.
Alright, so let's all just establish this. Sefer Safari has a better chin than Deontay Wilder.
Is that the answer you were looking for? Because that's the answer, bro. He's right. No, he's right. He's right. Look, Hunter and Dillian White go about a fight in two different ways. Hunter uses athleticism, movement, straight punches from the outside, getting in and out. That ain't Dillian. That's really not Dillian. So Hunter really isn't an insight into Dillian.
Yeah, Hunter's just a different style. He's sort of a box and move type of a guy. He's much more used to being able to jab and get away from Povetkin shots. Although he fought a pretty aggressive fight early on, and I think it threw Povetkin off guard.
Yeah, because he was trying to mix it up with him early on. Now I'm gonna take the question to Tony. Tony, they're fighting in August. There's no Mark Tibbs. Does that bother you? What's your prediction?
Yes, it bothers me a lot because I've said several times, in my opinion, this is the most dangerous fight Dillian White is going to fight outside of AJ or Fury. Far the most dangerous fight for him stylistically. Now, you don't have to do that, but I heard Eldo trying to say what Michael Hunter did to Povetkin, but you're talking about two different style fighters. The reason why Povetkin didn't have a lot of success against Michael Hunter early was because Michael Hunter came 1,000 miles per hour, which is something Dillian White cannot do. He cannot put out that much punch output. And what's the first thing that goes on an older fighter? Speed.
Punch.
So
Yeah.
So Hunter blitzed him, and he was too slow to keep up. He didn't start getting success till Hunter blew his load and started slowing down himself. So the thing is, Dillian White's never at any point in time going to be moving that fast throughout any point of this fight. The problem, too, is there are only 2 inches difference in height and only 4 inches difference in reach, which equivalates to 1 sidestep, like Intangible was saying. Dillian White likes to jab, but he has bad defense on the recoil of the jab. Povetkin is very good at sidestepping, slipping, and catching you with an overhand, which is something that Dillian White's been known to get dropped to. So there's a lot of things here I don't like. Then what you got to keep in mind, too, is Dillian White looked like the same fighter from his beginning to fighting Joshua. He didn't really look like he improved at all. He looked like he was doing good, but you didn't really see an improvement from fight to fight. After he lost to Joshua, he picked up Tibbs, and every fight after you saw an improvement. Besides Walk, which doesn't count because he only had 2 weeks to prepare. So that fight doesn't matter. So my thing is, this is the most dangerous fight, in my opinion, stylistically, you're about to be in, and you get rid of the guy who got you there. I don't know if that's good for him. I've been big on White, but if he loses, he's a victim of his own doing.
Yeah, I think he's kind of going to revert back to his old ways, because I heard Xavier Miller is pretty close to the Derek Chisora camp. And back then, he was pretty much like a rich man's Chisora, even though Chisora gave him pretty much some serious problems.
Yeah, he did. I'll say in the first fight he did. Now I want to get to the second part of the question. Tony already answered the question. The Mark Tibbs not being there affects how Tony looks at the fight. I'm gonna start with Country. Does Mark Tibbs not being there bother you?
I don't know if it necessarily bothers me, but I definitely think it has an effect on White in the fight a bit. Just because, why would you make a change going into a fight this close? I mean, to me, it makes no sense, Even if you got to make changes, but man, go with the fight that you committed to and then make the change afterwards, man, because you're doing it right there just before the fight. Who knows what could happen?
Well, let me just say this, though. His issue, the reason why he got rid of Mark Tibbs is actually associated to this camp for this fight, because he's training in Portugal, whereas Mark Tibbs has to stay back in England.
Yeah, I've read that. That basically what it is Mark Tibbs just opened up a gym over there in the UK. He's got a young family. He doesn't, basically traveling is an issue. If it wasn't already, it is now. And it seems like, you want me to be honest, it seems like a silly reason for that relationship to end, if I'm being honest. Seems like a silly, bro, this dude got you to where you at. I'm going to take it to L-Dog. Mark Tibbs not being there, does that affect what you thought would happen? Does it bother you?
Nah. I think Povetkin is so past it that White really should knock him out regardless. He's just a bigger, more physical man. I've never rated White technically. I think he's always just kind of gone in there and kind of out-muscled his opponents almost.
All right, Intangible. Let's take it to Intangible. Now you kind of answered. What did you? All right, I want to pose the question this way. What did you think before you heard Mark Tibbs wasn't going to be there? What did you think before, and what did you think after?
Well, I pretty much had the same prediction. I just feel like now that Mark Tibbs is gone, maybe some of the things that I say are into question, although that's just what I still legitimately think, and that's what I think is within White's capabilities. But, I mean, I think what I'm saying is put more into question, and I give Povetkin more of a chance now to get the knockout than opposed to what I laid out for White.
All right, I got another one for you guys. Nobody's talking about this fight in a nuts and bolts kind of way. I think mostly it's because most people can't. Ryan Garcia, Luke Campbell. How do you see that fight going?
Oh, wow. Well, you know what? This is really going to answer the question on where Garcia is really at, because at this point, we really don't know. He's doing good, but he has yet to step up a competition. This is a great step up for him. basically, I honestly think that Campbell has, even though he lost to Loma, and one of the other opponents' names escaping me at the moment, but some people are saying, oh, well, Campbell's used to falling short, and that's what he'll do against Garcia. I don't see it that way because he's faced tougher opposition and he can handle it. Garcia hasn't. And, Garcia's smoked some people, but by smoking people and not getting the experience in, he,
Yeah.
it's going to be harder for him, and he's going to have a much harder time dealing with it down the stretch because I don't see him smoking Campbell and getting him out of there, right away. And, if he doesn't, down that stretch, he's going to have a problem with Campbell.
I'm going to take it to Tony. I'm going to take it to Tony. All right, we're talking about a 5'10", roughly 5'11" southpaw.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. And a kid who can box. He can box from the outside, but he goes to the body on the inside. That's what we're talking about. Ryan ain't been in there with nobody like that. What do you think happens?
So I think you bring up a good point. Campbell's 5'9", Ryan's 5'10". Ryan has always been the bigger, stronger man, pretty much over everybody he's fought. And this time, he's not going to be the bigger. He's only going to be slightly taller man. And then you got to understand, in my opinion, Luke Campbell is already too big for lightweight. I think he should have moved up a long time ago. You got to look at the aspect that Lomachenko said that's the hardest fight he was ever in. And I mean, that's coming from a guy who fought Salido that hit him in the nuts 5,000 times. And junior. So for him to say that was his hardest opponent, and that's who Ryan's about to get into, like really try to prove himself worthy or elite, I don't know. I think it's going to come down to one or two things. One is going to be the young cub is going to overwhelm the older guy, or two is going to be lessened, and Ryan's going to be taken to school by the Olympian. And I would say that I favor Luke Campbell more than I do Ryan Garcia in this match.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, brothers. Now, let me tell you guys my view on Campbell versus Garcia. All right. I'm going to lay out two scenarios, once again, like I did with White and Povetkin. The way I see Campbell winning this fight is he just outskills him. I think he has more of an array of skills than Ryan Garcia. I think he does more than Garcia. I just think he's more crafty. I think he sets his offense up better. And I also think Garcia is a bit too stationary with his footwork. He doesn't reset his feet very quickly and doesn't change positions. Ryan Garcia can also catch Campbell early. Campbell tends to lack concentration early, and he's a very deliberate fighter. So I think Ryan could definitely catch him early. If Campbell sort of forgets to maybe tuck his chin behind his jab, I could definitely see Ryan sparking him, maybe getting him out of there. And if he were to win on points, maybe he'd drop him a few times. Now, I'm going to go with sort of in between. I think he's going to hurt him maybe a couple times, but I think Campbell will win a close decision.
See, the thing is, before I pass it to L-Dog, I have not seen anything from Ryan so far that shows me he can deal with a statuesque southpaw that has a jab, that can fight long range, but could also fight in the pocket, that doesn't abandon the body. I've not seen Ryan deal with a soul that can do all these things. I haven't. So I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the hell's going to happen. L-Dog, what's going to happen?
I'll tell you 100% what's going to happen. Luke Campbell will win this fight.
You mean that? You mean that?
Yeah, I think Luke Campbell is going to win this fight. I don't know how, but I know he's going to win it. I'll give you my reasons why. I mean, compared to Ryan Garcia, not many people can actually match his size, but Luke Campbell, he can, He's a tall southpaw. He's got a, gold medal pedigree. He's also fought prime Linares and more or less prime Lomachenko. I'll say they're both in their prime. And he's beat a guy like Mendy. Now, Linares and Ryan Garcia actually kind of remind me of each other in the sense they're both quite upright, but they're extremely quick. Now, even though Campbell lost that fight, he's still got 12 rounds of experience that he can learn from in that. I mean, and I agree with you, Julius. I haven't seen anything that Ryan Garcia has done that would lead me to believe he can handle Campbell. I mean, Campbell to me is the better boxer, and he's got the size to where he can soak up Ryan's power. I think he's not going to fall for Ryan's basic tricks. He's going to outbox him and maybe stop him late.
Mm, mm. The only chance I see Ryan having, right? And Luke's not, and even this is kind of tenuous. Luke's a southpaw, so you need to try to set up the right hand, fire it down the pipe. Hopefully, you get the guy out of there before it turns into a boxing match. Because I think that's Ryan's only chance. Knock this guy out. Because as far as a boxing match, I haven't seen you deal with nobody like this.
Well,
You're stepping up to somebody, right?
Well, the left hand is also. I think he could be susceptible for the left hand because
Yeah.
typically southpaws like to step to the outside of an orthodox fighter. They like to step to their right quite a bit. So maybe he could catch him with the left, like I pointed out earlier.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. That the left hook to me is the southpaw killer. Like I know people say the straight, but it's really not. It's that left hook. But again, it comes down to can Ryan Garcia keep his foot on the outside of Campbell?
But that goes back to what I said, bro. That like you think I've never seen Ryan be in a situation where he got to keep his lead foot on the outside of the other guy's lead foot. I don't even know that Ryan has fought a southpaw as a pro. I'm gonna have to literally look it up and then look up the fight. And whoever it was, they wasn't no Luke Campbell. They wasn't no motherfucking Luke Campbell.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue. It's just experience. And like in boxing, you can have all the attributes in the world, but if you don't have that experience, it can trump you.
Ryan's in the shit, man. He's in the shit. He's in the shit. Like, I think it would be crazy. It would be crazy if I sat here and said, yo, Luke gonna win that fight. Because at the same time, is Golden Boy gonna let Luke win that fight? Or is it gonna be a match?
That's what I'm thinking. But I'm assuming that there are going to be fair judges, which is a pretty big assumption in boxing.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this one question. What do you guys think is going to happen to Ryan, and where's he going to go if he parts with Golden Boy?
Match room. I say match room. I say, look, Ryan wants money. That's what he keep. I've never seen a guy, right? In all the years that I've been enjoying this sport, I've never seen a guy who's so young in his career always arguing about money. Not like him. Like he stay arguing about money, right? If money is your issue, Matchroom will pay you and pay you well. They will. If that's what you focused on, if you focused on money and not exposure, then Matchroom will get you the money. I don't know about the exposure, but they'll get you the money.
Now, if Ryan Garcia want his career to be popping, then he got to sign with Al Heyman and Leonard Allaby.
Come on with that bullshit, man. Come on with that.
He got to sign with Al Heyman, Leonard Allaby. I mean, that way, he'll become a superstar like Tank Davis.
Yeah, they'll just have him fighting 130 pounders all year.
Bro, stop hating ring IQ, man. Hey, block this man, bro. Quit hating.
Listen, man, serious shit. All right.
I was just gonna say this though. In my opinion, to touch on like the scorecards and Golden Boy, I really believe if Luke Campbell beats him, it's not gonna be one of them fights where they can rob him. Like it's gonna be such a wide margin that there's gonna be no room for stealing the fight from him without like a riot. But again, I think it just comes down to can the young cub use his strength and speed to overdo the experience? And I don't know.
That's what he has. That is what he has. He has speed, and speed kills.
Does he have devastating power? I'm not sure because the guys he's been knocking out are tiny.
Yeah. I mean, Fonseca's a 130-pound fighter. He is. That's what Davis
Luke
for.
Campbell is tall. He's big for the weight. He's got size, and he's showing decent punch resistance.
When somebody was mentioning that he's also with Shane McGuigan as well, who's a great.
And that's bad for Ryan. That's really bad for Ryan. McGuigan's a good trainer, dog. Say what you will about their business practices, but McGuigan can train a motherfucking fighter, man.
I think he's the best trainer in the UK. Him and Rob McCracken. All right. We got Joe Joyce. We got later Alvarez. That's a good fight.
Who do you
Wait,
like
what?
for that fight?
Joe Joyce and Alita Alvarez.
Wait, I'm bugging out. Joe Smith. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to think. That ain't no good fight, man.
Look, man, I'm tired, all right? I'm getting old. Joe Smith Jr., Alita Alvarez. Who do you like for the fight, Tony? All right, Tony's busy. L-Dog, who do you like for the fight?
Man, that's a tough one. I'm
Really?
gonna go with the better boxer, and I'm gonna pick Alvarez. But
That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it.
Joe Smith can crack. He's always
Yeah.
going to be coming forward. He's durable, but I always go with the better boxer.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm going Alvarez.
To me, it's a simple question. It's a question of, can Alita Alvarez get Joe Smith Jr.'s respect? Can he box around him, but get around his power? Yeah, he can. He can. All right, Country, how you see that fight? Who do you like for that fight?
Yeah, I've always automatically was thinking Alvarez just due to his skills. He's definitely the better boxer. He's just gonna let his only challenge is gonna have to be to weather the power. So if as long as he does that, he'll win.
Yeah, I'll say that I don't like Alita Alvarez's powers of recovery. I don't. I think that it's possible that Joe gets through with something, really frazzles Alita, and it's possible he don't come to his senses fast enough to save himself, right?
Yeah.
But that's a puncher's chance. That's essentially what we're talking about. That's a puncher's chance. They're like, well, you can't box like Alita, but you hit harder than Alita. And I'm not gonna bank on a puncher's chance. I can't do that.
I think, my bad, I couldn't get my mic off mute. I think it depends on what Alvarez shows up. If it's the Alvarez that fought Kovalev in the first fight, I think he can get Joe Smith. But it's the same one that showed up in the second fight with Kovalev. I think he gets the living shit boxed out of him and gets his head beat in. Alvarez, I think, has the technical ability to keep Joe Smith at bay with the jab and just dance circles around him. But if he tries to step into the pocket, I think he's going to get found wanting. I don't know. It's just whichever Alvarez shows up.
Well, remember the Alvarez that showed up, right, for the second Kovalev fight, that Alvarez only showed up because he was in a hurry to go home. He figured all I got to do is smack Kovalev around the way I did before. I don't got to box him. But that's not how you came out with Sergey in the first fight. You wasn't overconfident like that. In the second fight, you were overconfident. In the first fight, you gave that man some respect. And not for nothing, Sergey was doing all right in the first fight before he got caught. So I like it. I like it.
Like I said, dude, that's the thing, though. You got to think: is he going to respect a Joe Smith who's got 3 losses on his record? He looked good against Jesse Hart, but I don't know. I just, it depends on what Alvarez shows up, and I don't like to put my money on somebody who will change. You know what I mean? They're not consistent with the way they fight.
I get that, but if there's one thing you know about Joe, right? It's that Joe can punch. Don't punch with him. Don't trade with him. See, you got to respect a lot of different layers of Sergey's game. You got to respect his footwork. You got to respect his jab. You have to respect his power and his timing and all this different shit. With Joe, you got to respect his punch. But as far as the boxing, nah, you cannot box him. You can. You just got to respect his punch. Don't trade with him. I think Alita has enough that not only he can work around Joe's power, but he can get his respect with the left hand. Keep him out. Just keep him out. Don't bang with him. Keep him out. Move and punch.
But Ring, what happens if Alvarez decides to bang with him? That's the $1 million question. If he doesn't respect Joe and he goes in there thinking he can outclass him in the
He'd have to be a massive. He would have this. He'd have to be, or at least his corner would have to be a bunch of bumbling idiots. If they let you go out there and trade punches with Joe Smith Jr. Yeah, they would have to be, and I don't think that they're bum. I don't think that who's his trainer, Mark Ramsey? Mark Ramsey's not a bumbling idiot. For what it's worth, he's a very good trainer, underrated trainer, based out of Canada.
Well, given the fact of his lack of recovering ability, that would not be a wise idea whatsoever.
Yeah, because I don't trust his powers of recovery. Like, it later looked like when you get him hurt, he's just gonna be hurt after that. Like, you just gonna be hurt after that. You there for the taking. But that's a question of Joe getting through with something. And in order for him to do that, Alita has to make a mistake first. I don't trust that, bro. I don't trust that. I think Aleda can win a points decision. I mean, look at why Jesse's fight ended up the way it ended up. Jesse Hart's fight looked like that because he couldn't assert himself against Joe. You don't have nothing for Joe, but Aleda, he got something for you. He got something for you.
I agree with you. If he tries to keep Joe at bay, I believe he can outbox him. Just technically, I believe he's superior. But if he makes that same choice he did in that second Kovalev fight, I do not see it going well for him.
Yeah, but that it's just with Joe, you know what you're getting. You know, it's not subtle. Like, look, Joe's a puncher and Joe has a chin, so don't go in there trying to take his head off, wasting punches and wasting energy. You just giving him the fight if you do that. Mark Ramsey knows enough that he ain't going to have Aleda going out there doing that. The only reason they did it to Sergey was because of the first fight. They're like, man, we smacked him around once he was hurt. He was hurt and we got him out of there. All we got to do is do it again. You made that mistake with Sergey, but I'm pretty sure they learned from it. Pretty sure.
But you know what? I would rather see the Juggernaut versus him.
Yeah, that'll be something. That'll really be something. Joe Joyce versus Aleda Alvarez. But I'm telling you, man. So,
hey, Julius, did you know that who's that dude that keeps popping up on your channel, and he like tries to yell that you're a racist, you know what, and then you cut him off all the time?
Oh, that's H Money, man. He used to be my biggest fan. He used to be on my left.
That dude was trying to blast Mark the other day, man, and Mark.
What, recently?
Yeah, he unrivaled, man. He was blasting him, saying he was a racist, and Mark put up his video and was like, "Oh no, I've been exposed." Sarcasm making me cry.
Bro, look, man. Look, I'm gonna be honest. Look, that's a realm of YouTube that I'd rather not waste time on, because what I noticed the whole time I was entertaining that childishness, I could have been making content. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's
Right.
It's like if you play, even if you use it as a joke, you still low key playing into what they want. They want attention, bro. I ain't gonna give you attention. I'm not your father or your mother or your psychiatrist or your parole officer. I'm not giving you attention, bro. You need a life and you need a girlfriend. The dude was on Barbershop Conversations, right? He scared the joints. Barbershop Conversations had two broads on the show, right? Who comes on live while the broads is on the show? H Money. The look on them broads' faces says it all. That's why I'm like, bro, what I look like clowning you, bro? Life clowning you, bro. Like, I don't even gotta do nothing. I don't gotta say nothing, bro. So I'm not going to entertain that dude.
I didn't mean to bring up the bad subject or anything, man. I just saw that the other day.
It's just that's why you don't see me. That's why you don't see me entertaining like the trolls no more. Because it's like, bro, what the trolls want? The trolls want attention. So you give them the opposite. Instead of giving them attention, don't give them none.
Right.
I'll send you a link, Pete Ross. I got you.
So who do you think is the hottest?
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Question. John, I read it in a couple of boxing scene articles. I think it was Michael Benson tweets also that John Ryder is in the running to get the fight. That in all likelihood, Canelo's next opponent is going to be a UK guy. All right, go ahead, country.
I was just going to ask you. It was a random question. It's a little just random, but who do you think's one of the hottest prospects of today?
Virgil Ortiz. Easy. Virgil Ortiz. That kid got a high ceiling. I don't know if I should call him a prospect because he's kind of contender status and he's going to be fighting for a belt in his next fight. But I like Stephen Fulton. He looked all right in his fight with what was it, Arnold Kagai? He looked all right in that fight. Who's another one? Philippe Hergovic is still prospect status, so he counts.
Jermaine Franklin from the US of A heavyweight.
You like him, Tony? Are you being sarcastic or are you serious?
Oh, I like him.
I could tell Tony's a real good guy, man. Like he's like a genuine in his heart. He's a real nice person. Cause I've tried to look and see if there's more there, but I don't see it. I'm not gonna say that he's bad, but I just don't see it. I don't see I don't see nothing that shows me that when you get up there, you can beat a White or you could beat a Povetkin or those kind. I don't see it. I seen him with Rydell Booker, and bro, come on, man. Rydell was tough.
You gotta keep this in mind though. He is one of the only boxers I can think of in the history of boxing who has every fight he's had, but I think his first fight has been against a guy who is extremely more experienced than him. He's never fought a dude outside of his first fight that has a losing record. Every guy he fights has more wins than losses, and they've all had more experience than him. So you're going to have that when you're fighting above your level every fight. That's why I like him, because every fight he's fighting is above his level, like a throwback fighter. And I think when he does get there, he's going to been stepping up every fight so much that he will be ready.
All right. I'll concede. I'll concede that. But as far as heavyweight prospects out of the US of A, it is Jared, the real big baby Miller Anderson, that has my attention. Kid's only 21 years old, good size, good dimensions, good power, good snapping his punches, has a high ceiling, limitless potential. If it's an American heavyweight prospect that has my attention, it is Jared Anderson, top-ranked fighter. Shout out to Top Rank. All right. Now,
yeah, as far as Canelo versus John Ryder goes, I would rather see Callum Smith, the guy that beat John Ryder. But
did he really beat him, Tony?
I mean,
I'm just saying,
so,
did he really beat him?
Did Canelo beat Triple G in the first fight, or draw with him, I should say?
This is what I'm saying. You have a point, right? But it's two things that I already know why it might not be Callum. The money not going to be right for a Canelo fight right now. Not the way that Callum wanted, right? There's no audience, so you don't have that revenue stream. So even a Canelo fight is not paying like a Canelo fight. In that situation, Golden Boy got to cut corners. They might not fight a champion. They might fight John Ryder. I mean, why else would they offer Sergey Derevianchenko to fight? Why would y'all even be looking at him? Hey, Pete, what's going on, man?
Did you see his fight with Triple G?
Oh, yeah, it was a good fight. I mean, it was a great fight.
Yeah, that right there is why Canelo wants a piece of
it.
Yeah, I had him beating Triple G even though Triple G won. So the thing with him is if Canelo goes out there and beats him badly, that sets a tone.
I see that point. I do see that point. Now we got to get to Pete. I was going on. Pete got a couple of questions.
Enough here. Hang on. You all right?
Yeah, I'm very good. How you doing? So White Povetkin, we talked about it earlier.
Good,
Dillian
good,
White,
good.
Alexander
show,
Povetkin.
Well, what are we chatting about today?
We're talking about Dillian White, Alexander Povetkin. There's no Mark Tibbs. What do you see happening in that fight?
Oh, right. So we got Dillian White, Povetkin. Yeah. So Dillian White, he's just sacked his last trainer, Mark Tibbs. So what's he? He's only improved since he's had him.
Yep.
Right. So who's training him now? Has anyone got an idea who's training him?
What's the guy's name? What's the guy's name? Miller? The guy's name is Miller something. His last name is Miller. I gotta look the guy up.
You heard of him?
I mean, to my knowledge, the guy that's training him now was already a member of his team, but he had more of a background role. So now he's like his head trainer.
Yeah, I believe is Xavier
with White, right? So you look at his fights.
Am I wrong? Am I right?
No, you're right. It's Xavier Miller. It's Xavier Miller.
So we see what to Joshua, he knocked him out, yeah. So if say White had more stamina then, he would have done the same thing, and I think he has got that now. So I think he can do him.
All right. So you go White for the Povetkin fight. You go Dillian White to win.
It's no fighter, to be honest. Yeah. everyone's it. I just look at it. Everyone's someone to me. No one's. I've got no favourites. I just look at it like from a purist point of view. I've got no favourite, and I'm trying to like work it out. But I do think he's got more heart than Joshua now, and I think he would take him.
All right. What about Luke Campbell, Ryan Garcia?
Yeah.
All right. I'm not hearing you, man. I'm not hearing you. You there?
Yeah. Sorry, cut out there.
All right. Luke Campbell, Ryan Garcia. All right. I think he's experiencing some technical difficulties. I'm gonna give him a minute. Luke Campbell, Ryan Garcia.
Yeah. Hey.
All right, I'm gonna give him a chance to sort himself out. I'm gonna give him a chance.
I got one for you.
All right, go ahead.
Hergovic versus Ajegba.
If that fight was next, I go Hergovic because of the amateur pedigree. Hergovic ain't missing much. He's just missing the names, but he ain't missing much. Ajagba didn't look good against Iago Khalidze. You getting dropped by that kind of guy. Yeah, he stopped him. He dropped him 2 times, and that's cool. But, you know, if Iago could get through like that, imagine if Hergovic gets through like that.
Yeah,
Right.
but has Hergovic ever fought anybody as big as the Nigerian warrior and who hits as hard?
I'll say he hasn't fought someone as big, right? But experience counts. And when you see what he did to Eric Molina, that was a sound beating. Eric Molina is a lot more experienced than Hergovic as far as the pro ranks go. You know, as far as having fought champions, reigning champions. Eric Molina done been to that show a couple of times. Hergovic handled him the way they handled him. Like, oh, this guy ain't shit. He ain't shit. That's how he handled him. So that's good. That's good. It's Eric Molina, so you don't read too much into it. But it's good. They're like, all right, you looking how you should look. You made easy work of that guy. That's good because that's what the upper echelon guys do to him. They make easy work of him.
I don't know. Like, I do see flaws in EFE. I think there's a lot of ceiling to grow, but he's got something that a lot of people with his inexperience do not have, and that's patience. He'll get in and he looks for his shots. He doesn't just go in there guns blazing. He picks and chooses, and that's an attribute that you normally don't see with younger guys like him. And I favor him. There's something about him.
If it was next, bro. If it was not 2, 3, 4, 10 fights from now. If it's next, bro, you better pick Felipe.
I don't know, Julian. I don't know.
Bro, if it's next, I'm not saying like, look, you might be right. I'm not disagreeing that he shows poise because that's what that is. He has a lot of poise for a guy with only 13 pro fights. He got a lot of poise. But if it's next, Felipe is almost put together, bro. He's almost put together. I'll say that I'm more confident in Felipe right now than I am Joe Joyce. I'll say that. Felipe is there, man. He's there. He's almost there. Now stop talking about, look, Faluso, don't talk about Daniel Dubois. This is a Daniel Dubois channel. This is all Daniel Dubois all the time, unless he loses. Yeah, he does. I'm not going to, no, Ajagba has a jab, but he doesn't move his head. Though how many heavyweights actually really move their head these days, bro? How many of these guys are slipping and sliding and rolling and all of that? How many?
Not many.
Jermaine Franklin.
see, I know what it is. Tony knows him. Just be honest, Tony. You know him, don't you?
Nah, I ain't never met him.
You know him, bro. I know you know him. Like, he's a good guy. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm just saying I don't see it yet. Jared Anderson, I got my fucking eye on that guy because that guy, that's a guy. Jarrell Miller, it's over for him. It's a wrap. I honestly think it's over. Like, it's completely over. Don't pay the lawyers. Don't waste your money. Start working out for the WWE.
Did you see Top Rank dropped him?
Yeah, I did a fucking video on it, bro.
I ain't seen it.
Bob Arum, and I quote, "It's hard to deal with stupid people." That's what- Ain't no other way to put it, bro. Like, yeah, you're right. Stupid people look. He fucked some paper up for Eddie Hearn, right? And he fucked some paper up for Bob Arum. He fucked some paper up. Like, he's fucking paper up for everybody. I just hope that Jay Prince goes easy on him because he owe him that money. Like, Eddie, you could owe Eddie money. Eddie gonna be all right. He ain't pressed for cash. You don't want to owe Jay Prince a nickel, bro. Not a nickel. I hope he all right. Lou DiBella in negotiation. Yeah, you better stop. Let's see what's going on in this chitty chat. Hergovic said he would fight big. Yeah, but a lot of people say a lot of things, man. A lot of people. He ain't going to do that. And the Sauerlands ain't going to let him do that. Yes, I would pick Tony Yoka to beat F.A. Ajagba. 7 days out of 7. Y'all know about Tony Yoka, man. That's the French Anthony Joshua. Maybe he has a better chin than Anthony Joshua. I don't know. We'll find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
What do you think about Hergovic versus Dubois?
I think that right now, in all honesty, there's a logical argument to pick Hergovic because he has the amateur pedigree that Dubois don't have, and he's a more maturated fighter. He's a more maturated man. Dubois ain't but what, 21, 22 years old? He ain't come into his grown man strength yet.
No, he hasn't.
Dubois ain't gonna make it out of England because Joe Joyce gonna spark that ass when they fight.
You don't believe that, bro. You don't believe that. Box watch.
Bruh,
White.
when Juggernaut sleeps him, I'm gonna put up a video with "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch."
You're gonna see. Box watch. Talking about Dillian White, Alexander Povetkin. There's no Mark Tibbs. Portugal. What happens?
It's a situation, man.
It's a bad situation. Just say it. It's a bad situation.
I will say that before Tibbs left, I definitely had Dylan White winning that fight. Probably by late stoppage. Now that Tibbs is gone, I don't know, man.
It changes things. Like, and I'm not. This ain't showmanship. It changes things. It literally.
Does. Do you know why it changes things as well? Dylan White and Tibbs, they've established the relationship so tight. It seemed tight. If you see them in the corner of when obviously when the rounds ended and in the corner, he really listens and pays attention to Tibbs, and he actually comes out and does what he says.
Yeah.
And with that, remember, Dylan White has got a very small amateur background, something like 12 fights or something like that. He's still learning on the job, really.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna still go with Dylan, to take him out over the course of the fight. I think with Povetkin aging, he seems like he's gassing out later on in the fights. I think he'll take him into deep waters and win it on points. I'm gonna go Dillian on points.
All right. I mean, that's fair. All right. Now, this is a more complex fight because Dillian and Povetkin are easier to understand. This next fight, we don't even have the answers to the questions. Ryan Garcia, Luke Campbell, you're talking about a 5'9", 5'10" southpaw with a jab who can box from the outside but goes to the body on the inside. He has in and out. I have not seen Ryan do shit against someone like that. Who wins that fight?
Okay, so you see this one here? This is Ryan's coming out party,
Yeah.
This is make or break for Ryan. I mean Luke Campbell, right? His best fights are the fights that he's lost.
Yeah. That's a fair. Well, the second Mendy fight counts. The second
Mendy fight counts. I was just about to say that. To be fair, the second Mendy fight counts, and I would say Mendy is probably the closest level of opponent that Ryan's fought. Ryan ain't fought nothing like a Linares and nothing like a Lomachenko. So in saying that, this is really gonna this is really gonna really show if Ryan has got that next level to him.
I'm gonna say this. Ryan would have been better off fighting Jorge because he stood a better chance of winning on cuts than outboxing Luke. I don't know if he can outbox Luke, but I know you could cut Jorge. I know you can cut Jorge. He bleeds like a hymen. I know you can cut him.
Luke's got a very big output. He works a lot. And we've never seen Ryan in that type of situation where with a man with a work rate like
and the
like
size
Luke.
and the size
And the southpaw. Now he's not fighting any old southpaw. This is a really experienced southpaw.
This is a southpaw with a jab. Good
Southpaw
jab.
with a jab. That's trained by Shane McGuigan. Since he's gone to Shane, his confidence has gone up. His confidence
And
has
also,
gone
he's
up.
fought quality opponents in comparison to Ryan Garcia too.
You're like
Absolutely,
Luke's been in the
absolutely.
trenches. Luke's been in the trenches in defeat and in victory. Luke's been in the trenches. Ryan is not.
Luke is looking at it like he doesn't want no Ryan Garcia coming up, some up and comer to come and take him off his run that he's on. He wants that WBC belt, and he's not letting Ryan Garcia come and stop that. So that's what Ryan's got to contend against. Do you understand?
That they would even this is the thing, right? We got to remember, if everything was sweet at Golden Boy, right? If everything was cookie crunchy and everybody loves everybody, Golden Boy don't let him have that fight. If
Golden Boy don't let him have this fight.
they don't let, if everything was cookie crunchy, they don't let him have that. Like, bro, you don't need that fight for a title shot, bro. We could get you 10 title shots. You don't need that.
The problem is Golden Boy's been doing that. First, they did that with Tank. Oscar's like, oh, I don't know if he should fight Tank. Tank's a beast. You know, then they're doing it with Linares. You know, that was supposed to happen. Oh, well, okay, yeah, it got delayed it didn't go through because Linares was in Japan. But Golden Boy was still like, oh, I don't know if we should let him have that fight. Blah blah blah. Now it's Campbell, and you know, I mean,
I'm saying, look,
can't keep protecting his ass. He's got to step up at some point.
I'm saying they might let him have the fight so that he loses. That's what I'm saying.
I want to say that.
Okay, well, what would that accomplish, though?
They don't give a shit. He's been mouthing off, talking shit, demanding money. Like, all right, bro, you know what? You know better. You don't like what we doing for you, right? Go ahead. You make the decisions, bro. You think you can beat Luke? Go ahead. Go try to beat Luke.
Go ahead. Yeah, I get that.
Hey, Julius.
And then they would probably part ways.
Can y'all hear me?
Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, Tony, I can hear you.
This is what I'm trying to get out. Man. My point of view of looking at this is, if Ryan goes out there and beats the living shit out of Luke Campbell, which is highly unlikely, but if he does that, in my opinion, I think he becomes the man of the division. I don't think, because he's very fast. I don't think Lomachenko can dance around him. And if he can beat a guy like Luke Campbell decisively and easily, I don't fuck that.
Nah, bro, because that goes back, because look, Davis beat Pedraza first, right? And he dispatched him a little faster and a little easier than Loma did, right? But that's triangles, bro. That's triangles.
I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that Luke beats Ryan. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion.
I don't think it's a foregone conclusion, but at the same time, what the fuck has Ryan showed me that shows me you could deal with a statuette southpaw that has a jab, has footwork, has a high output, goes to the body.
He's about to show you. He's about to show you. This is what he's about. This is what it is with fighters, isn't it? That's why I like Ryan, because if he's at the same time, he's being a bit of a prima donna with the whole money thing. But if he's proper willing to take fights like Luke Campbell right now, that's the type of thing I like. Go for it. Show the world what you're about. He's been talking the big talk. He's got all these followers on Instagram. All right, now show us what's going on now. Here's a proper opponent.
You want
big money?
I like the shit.
Here's a big money fight. Do it. Let me see what you got.
Too. I like the shit. It's fucking exciting. But this is
fucking exciting.
This is not. This is not. Do you like the shit? I think we all like the shit. I think we all like that shit. But that don't mean you're gonna win that fight.
No, it
I've
don't.
got. You know what? I've got Ryan winning it. I've
Like,
got
no,
Ryan
Harry.
knocking
If
him out mid round,
I'm,
mid fight. I
I'm
got that.
telling.
That's what I got. Sorry, go on, Tony. Sorry, Tony.
Yeah, I don't mean to keep talking over you. I'm just saying, I'm making a statement right now, bold statement. If Ryan goes out there and beats the shit out of Luke Campbell and it doesn't last that long, or if it goes all rounds and he beats the shit out of him for all rounds, I'm telling you right now, nobody at lightweight stops him.
Bro,
I
come on.
Nah, I don't know about that.
Come
I
on.
think that
Yeah, that's going too
I
far.
think that Luke Campbell. I think Luke Campbell is he's the youngest of the last of that generation. If you get what I'm saying, this new generation,
because he's like
he's
30.
the youngest of the right. So I think as well, as much as he's got a great amateur pedigree, he's got a great output, he's got a great engine, all of this. I don't think he's got any real special effects.
Does he need special effects for a guy whose biggest win is Francisco Fonseca?
But this is what I'm trying to say to you. I think this is Ryan's coming out party. This is the generation of the Shakur Stevenson, Tank, Ryan, Devin, these guys. Yeah?
Yeah.
This is his time to now show. It's our time now. Luke, you have to take a back seat now, guys. We're coming through. And I think he's going to put Luke to bed. I think it's going to be a good fight. Yeah? But I think he's going to have enough about him. And he's got speed. Speed kills, man. He's got that speed. And he looks to have accuracy. So if he can put that together against Luke, if he can put that together against Luke, Luke knows how to lose. Luke knows how to lose. This guy is on a mission. This guy is on a mission. He ain't lost yet. He hasn't lost yet. He's
but
very
he's
confident.
also Madonna though too, man. I mean, come on.
Hold up, Julius.
I grant that he hasn't fought the level of competition. I grant that. I hear that. At the same time, now he's about to. So this is his time to show what he's about and come and deal with the thing. And I think he's gonna do the job.
Box, you gotta realize, right? The only reason we get in this fight, understand, for perspective, the only fucking reason we get in this fight is because right now, Golden Boy don't give a shit. Like, you know what? Fuck you. Virgil Ortiz is the future.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely
That's
right.
That's the only reason we're
They're trying to teach him a lesson, yeah? They're teaching him a lesson. Okay, you wanna be moaning about money and all of this stuff. You think you're the shit. All right, here's a fight. Have that fight. Let's see what you're gonna. But then what Ryan's gonna do is prove himself. He's gonna prove himself. Beat the guy that they think that people are thinking is too much of a big step up for him. You're gonna go in there, do the work. I believe that. I think Ryan's gonna win that fight. I don't know how. I personally think he's gonna stop him mid rounds. Yeah. If it goes, the later it goes, the harder it's gonna be for Ryan because obviously he hasn't been in them type of situations before, and obviously Luke is battle tested. But I think mid rounds he'll stop him. He's gonna put the work in, catch him with a few nice, blows to the jaw, down to the body, and he's gonna stop that guy. I think that's my opinion. That's my opinion.
All right. I'm gonna take it to IBT, right? You know what we're talking about. We're all nervous as hell, all right? We're nervous as hell. I'm peeing a lot. I'm fucking Ryan Garcia, fucking Luke Campbell. Talking about a 5'10" statuesque southpaw. He's got a jab, can fight on the outside, can bang on the inside, goes to the body. What happens?
Personally, right now, I favor Luke Campbell. Just to me, Ryan Garcia is a good fighter, but he's not proven enough for me to pick him over Campbell. And although Campbell has lost, I felt that, Lomachenko is a pound-for-pound talent, so that's fine. Multiple-time gold medalist. Linares' fight really could have gone either way. I think the knockdown sways in. A lot of people like to say, well, he already lost to Linares, and, Linares got washed, so people like to discredit Campbell. And I'm not trying to make out Campbell to be like some boogeyman, but he has more skills than people like to give him credit for. And the Ivan Mendy fight, obviously, he redeemed his loss, right? Whereas Ryan Garcia, I don't feel has an excellent amateur pedigree. Luke Campbell's is far better, right? He doesn't have the pro experience that Luke Campbell has. He also doesn't have, he's not in his physical prime like Luke Campbell is. They're both going to be tall, so this is first of all, a big step up in competition, and it's going to be against someone who you have similar dimensions to, right?
And it's a fucking southpaw, bro. They're stepping up in competition, right? For clarity. They're stepping up in competition, but they're stepping up in competition with a fucking southpaw, bro.
One of the most awkward type of fighters to get in the ring with.
Yeah.
And it's something that I said also when I talked about this Ryan Garcia, Luke Campbell situation. Listen, man, we can't sit here as fans and put this demand on PBC fighters. I don't advocate or ever take up for the PBC, and Jay knows this. But we cannot sit here and put this demand on all of these PBC fighters. And then when it comes to the same demand for someone outside of the PBC, we are oblivious to this bullshit. Yeah. But the same demand that we put on the Tank Davises and the Errol Spencers and anybody coming out of the PBC, we must put on Ryan Garcia. Yes. He has to prove it.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, my question is this though too. How much tools does Garcia have in his arsenal compared to all the tools? How many tools Campbell has in his?
That's the shit we don't know because the fights are ending too fucking quick. He not getting rounds in, bro. The Duno fight, that was a flash in the pan. The Fonseca fight, that was a flash in the pan. That's your last two fights, bro. You ain't getting no rounds in. So you really not getting experience off these fights.
Julius, I want to say that. And I'm just
go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, I'm about to get off because I got to go. But look, you brought up Fonseca, okay? I understand Fonseca moved up, but in my opinion, Fonseca's a better win than anything Devin Haney has, especially when he struggled with Alfonso. So, and the way he put him away, Fonseca went all rounds with Tevin Farmer to a decision. Tank knocked him out, but Tank didn't knock him out like Ryan did. So Ryan is showing flashes of what he could be. We're not going to know what he actually is till this fight happens. But again, I will restate, if this is a big if, because I already told you I lean towards Luke Campbell. I favor Luke Campbell. But if Ryan's going to win it, I think he's going to win it off of hitting Luke Campbell with the left hook, catching him with it, hurting him. And if he beats him in spectacular fashion, I promise you, he is now the man of the division because I don't think Teofimo Lopez will beat him. I don't think maybe Lomachenko. I don't really add him because he's just on a whole nother level. But I definitely know he'll run through Ryan or Devin Haney with ease. If he can school Luke Campbell, Devin Haney stands no chance.
I struggle with that. I really do. But I gotta ask D. All right, D. We all want the fucking fight, so I think we all in agreement. Because Ryan do need to step up. That's facts. You got 20 fucking fights, bro. You got 20 fucking fights. Teofimo got 15 fights. He already beat a champion. You got 20 fights. So you gotta step up. You have to, right?
Right.
The shit is, if you do, what's gonna happen to you? What's gonna happen to you? That's what I want to know. Talking about a 5'10" southpaw. He could box from the outside. He got a jab. But on the inside, he know how to go to the body. He know how to get out of there, too. Who you see winning that fight?
Yeah, all day long, bro. I've already said that I have to pick. I'm almost where IBT is. I have to pick Luke Campbell. I have to pick Luke Campbell because of the awkwardness. We talked about that. But here's another thing. When we talk about, and I like to utilize people's ideology even when it's concerning other fighters. How many times have we sat up here, and Julius, God knows, on your live or my live or whoever the fuck live we was on, how many times have we sat up here and said, Wilder's power is not proven because he has not done it against high enough level competition. But now everybody want to fucking say Brian's the hardest punching and he's going to do this, that, and the third, but he ain't fought no fucking body. So if you're going to sit up here and have the ideology that no, we can't call Wilder this, that, and the third, then how the fuck can we call Ryan that?
That's the fuck ups. Bro, why you think
what I'm saying? How can we do that?
Why you think I'm saying like the answers to the you know normally when you about to break down a fight, right? A lot of times you know what the fighter got. Like if you talking about Wilder, you know that he got a big right hand, he has somewhat of a jab, he ain't got no feet, really. if you talking about Joshua, you talking about a guy with a jab, but he could bang on the inside a little bit. He don't take the greatest punch, but he gives a pretty good punch. You know what you're working with. With Ryan, I'm like, bro, I don't know what I'm working with. What am I working with here?
Speed and a check left hook. That's all you can assess from this kid. Speed. Matter of fact, let me give a little speed, a check left hook, and he keeps his head a little bit high, which is a problem.
He times well, but he also leaves his chin up in the air. So for me, when Tony says, "Oh, if you beat Luke Campbell, now you're the man of the division," Lomachenko dropped him, and he was competitive at points, but I think it was a clear Lomachenko win. And Teofimo just iced a guy who was an actual world champion, unlike Luke Campbell, who technically, although Lomachenko's a pound-for-pound talent, he's still coming off of a loss, right?
Yeah.
So if we're going to be giving him credit for beating a guy coming off of a loss to the unified champion, why can't we give the guy credit who was a prospect, turned to a contender overnight, turned to a world champion in a couple rounds after he knocked out a legitimate world champion too?
That's why. Look, Tony's statement. Me and Tony don't always see eye to eye, right? You can't beat a man at 135 because you knocked out Luke Campbell, bro. That don't even sound like I knocked out Luke Campbell, so I'm the hottest ticket. Like how, bro? How? Teofimo knocked out Richard Comey in one round, bro. One round.
And you tell me, you come to me with that shit. You come to me after Ryan Garcia beats Luke Campbell, and you come to me, the Teofimo fanboy, as they call, and tell me that he's going to beat Teofimo. Man, I will demolish you in the debate, and I guarantee you I would. You ain't going to tell me Ryan Garcia is going to beat Teofimo just because he beats Luke Campbell. You must be mad.
And that's triangle theory, though. That's all for triangle theory because, Loma struggled with him, He struggled with what the fuck that got to do with Ryan, bro? It's a different fight. Ryan ain't Lomachenko. Now, if Ryan was Lomachenko, then you cooking with rice. But they ain't nothing like. Ryan's a lot bigger. That's the first shit you got to look at. He's a lot bigger. He's not an orthodox fighter. No, Lomachenko's not an orthodox fighter. Ryan's a Ryan's. Man, I'm getting fucking confused. Lomachenko is a fucking southpaw. Lomachenko is a fucking southpaw. Ryan is the orthodox fighter. It's a different fight, bro. They fighting out of different stances. You can't compare that.
You know what, though? Ryan does leave himself open. I forget who the opponent was, but I was watching the fight. He did knock the guy out that he fought, but this one of his opponents, he does keep his chin up high because he got nailed. It was on rubbery legs until he knocked the guy out.
I'm gonna say, look, Ryan upright, right? But the last fight, which is the fight everybody's so fucking high on, right? This is the thing he did with Fonseca, which was smart. He kept his chin in the air, right? He did. But he baited him. He got in a high guard. He waited for Fonseca to throw the left so he could catch him in between the left and the right with the check hook. That was smooth shit. Like, yo, that's veteran shit. So he's showing flashes, like Tony said. But I can't go off of flashes, bro. I need like at least 5-6 rounds to like, all right, I see that. I see what you're doing. You check Francisco Fonseca. Oh my God, let me call my grandmother. He checked.
Right. You need more consistency.
Hey, Jay, like Teofimo Lopez in the Magdaleno fight didn't bait him, didn't work the body, bait him on that body punch, come upstairs with the left hook, didn't bait him in, right? Which is advanced. This is advanced stuff. So just because Ryan did something advanced and he beats Luke Campbell, he's the best now. Teofimo has showed advanced stuff. And he's beat a legitimate champion, like you said, and he's about to fight Lomachenko.
This the best analogy I would say. Teofimo didn't look good with Masayoshi Nakatani, right?
No,
he didn't look good. But he showed me more with that because he worked around the shit that was troubling him. He showed me more looking bad than Ryan showed me looking good. Like, bro, if you finishing opponents in the first round, right? I don't know what's going to happen when they put you in there with a real one. Why? Because it's Francisco Fonseca and Romero Duno. Like, I'm supposed to fall out my chair, and I ain't knocking Ryan, but it's like I said, I don't know what I'm working with.
You know what we can assess off of a Luke Campbell? We can assess how Luke Campbell will work through adversity. Well, we haven't even seen Ryan through adversity. So we don't know how he's going to work through adversity.
We have technically, but it was a far lower level opponent, and Carlos Morales, who
Right.
was a fight he
Which is
struggled in, and he looked terrible in that fight. But people don't bring that up because he just knocked out Fonseca, and he had Duno drunk because of a tempo counter. I understand this guy can check left hook. I could see him work the bag for 3 minutes, and I'd be able to see that, right? I want to see him actually go rounds in there with someone who's proven at the weight class as well. And for me, I don't even favor him in this fight, but if he were to win, I feel that would just legitimize him as a lightweight. That would not make him the man at lightweight.
Yeah, like it legitimizes him as a contender. Like if you tell me, okay, let's say Ryan goes in there, right? And Luke is looking good for the first 4 rounds, and Ryan catch him with something disgusting in the 5th or the 6th. All right, you a contender, bro. That's what you are. You a contender. Why? Because that's what Luke was. Luke was a contender. You beat him. Now you a contender. But you're not the man for knocking out Luke Campbell, bro. Come on now. That's a big leap. If you're the man for locking out, if you the man for knocking out Luke Campbell, what's Teofimo? Jesus?
No, get right. It's Jesus.
What is he, Jesus?
Yeah, man. This Ryan Garcia hype. I mean, this is what happens in boxing, bro. It's always this fucking super hype shit. And now I guess it's Ryan Garcia's turn, and people are going apeshit over this Ryan Garcia deal. I mean, I like Ryan Garcia actually, but people like fans, they don't turn me against fighters, but they damn sure have me out here debating against fighters that I like because of their foolery, bro. You know, I have to debate people against fans.
It's the same principle that, like, I'm glad that Ryan is taking the fight. Like, as far as, okay, do I want to see the fight? Of course I want to see the fight. But I'm just saying that I'm not convinced. I don't know what's going to happen. Why? This is a step up, bro. It's like, look, when Erickson Lubin was going to fight Jamel Charlo, right? Lubin had a buzz, a little buzz going. I seen people picking Lubin to win the fight. I'm like, bro, I haven't seen nothing from Lubin to win the fight. So I'm going to go with Charlo just because I haven't seen nothing from Lubin. Lo and behold, he don't make it out the first round. I don't know that won't happen to Ryan, man. I hope it don't. I like the kid. I want him to make it, but I don't know if that's going to happen to him. It might.
Yeah, and I don't think you're, like, to your analogy, if anyone wants to say, I don't think you're trying to compare Luke Campbell to Jamel Charlo, but they're both at this level, right, where Luke Campbell is probably the most proven contender in the division, and Ryan Garcia is the hottest prospect in the division, as you have Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez are already champions at the weight class, right? So Ryan Garcia beating Luke Campbell, to me, would just say he's the best contender.
Yeah.
But there's still other guys that, he can fight that might give him trouble or might beat him before he even gets to the full title champions like Gervonta Davis. Richard Comes, he did just lose, but that is his first convincing loss in his entire career. His other 2 losses were split decisions. Javier Fortuna is a proven fighter.
Yep.
He'll give Ryan Garcia difficulty. Jorge Linares, Ryan Garcia actually has a good chance to beat him because of the way Linares' chin and cuts.
Yep.
But he's still worthy, right? So at beating Luke Campbell makes him a solid contender, the most proven contender, but it does not make him the man of the division. Doesn't even make him. I wouldn't even favor him against any of the current champions right now. Lomachenko beats him. Teofimo Lopez counters him and knocks him out. And Devin Haney might just outpoint him like they did 3 times in the amateurs, right?
And that's what. Thank you for bringing it, because that's what I was alluding to. You beat Luke Campbell, and I think that would be a great win for Ryan. That does not tell me both fucking diddly about a Devin Haney fight. That don't tell me nothing about a Devin Haney fight. You could beat Luke. You could beat Luke in the 5th by way of knockout. That don't tell me nothing about how you would look with Devin Haney. Period.
Yeah, I agree 100%, especially if you want to look at the fights that they've actually had. Although Devin Haney didn't look great in his last fight, it's not like he didn't win convincingly, right? It's the same thing people say about Teofimo Lopez versus Nakatani. Nakatani is a very statuesque fighter, like you say. He's almost 6 foot tall, 70-something inch reach. The guy that Ryan Garcia had difficulty with, he won by majority decision, I mentioned earlier, Carlos Morales. He is 5'9" with a 70-inch reach. I believe Devin Haney has similar dimensions. So what is to say that, Luke Campbell or Devin Haney won't give this guy trouble? He knocked out Fonseca. Fonseca is not natural to the division, and he does not have these dimensions at all.
and he doesn't have the acumen. Like Fonseca is a good, I'll say, C plus kind of guy. He's a C plus kind of guy. Nothing against him. God bless him and his family, but he's a C plus kind of guy. You knocked out a C plus kind of guy who normally campaigns at 130. It was a good win because he did it quickly. So it's good and bad. It's good that you got that kind of power to where you could do that, but at the same time, you didn't get the rounds in. So it's everything is cost benefit. You didn't get the rounds in with that guy. So what did you take away from that fight?
You know, when that tree get out fucking out.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I stand with Ryan Garcia. 2 spectacular wins. He's going in with a lot of momentum, but if you want to look at what he's actually been able to display in the ring, he's displayed hand speed, timing, and a check left hook, things we already knew he was good at. He showed us that he's advanced at these things, very advanced, right? He's able to bait. He's able to kind of lull people in, counter them well. I credit his training recently with the Reynoso team with that, and I think he will improve. But that doesn't tell me right now that he's ready to knock out Luke Campbell or become a world champion, right?
And like I stated earlier, the only reason that we're even getting this fight is because his relationship is on the rocks with Golden Boy. For all we know, if everything was kooky crunchy and everybody was cool, Golden Boy fuck around wouldn't even let him have the fight. Because they're apprehensive about putting him in there with Linares. I don't know if Oscar is taking the piss and he's saying that to be petty, or if he really means it. They're like, yo, I don't know if Ryan would beat Jorge. That's a real dude, B. He looking sensational in camp. I don't know if Ryan would beat that dude. And you know what? When you look at what Ryan's done so far, there's nothing in there that says he beats that dude. You could believe it, but there's nothing in there that says it.
I think that's part of the conflict with Ryan and Golden Boy, though, is that Golden Boy is, projecting a lack of confidence in him in certain ways. And that's why they keep.
Because they're being petty, country. Is it that they're being petty, or is it that they really mean it? That like, yo, nah, we don't know if he'll win that fight.
I think it's real, but it's gotten petty because of the arguments between them and the way they've gone back and forth. I think it grew into being petty, but originally, I think it was a legitimate lack of confidence at first, in the beginning.
I could see that because remember, they wanted to put him on a card with a guy, and whoever that guy was going to be, it wasn't going to be nobody on the level of a Campbell or a Linares. It was going to be another tune-up kind of guy for the July 4th card that he didn't fight in. I don't know that. In other words, I don't know that Golden Boy's grooming process is over yet. It might not be, and if it's not, all right, then you just stepped in doo-doo, bro. Because this Campbell kid could fight. He might not.
Right. Ryan's not being patient about it at all.
Yeah, because he wants money.
Hey, Jay, I said this shit a couple of days ago. Listen here, man. And Jay, I'm pretty sure you read this because you be up on the shit way more than I am. Eddie Reynoso came out and in an article, and he said that Ryan Garcia needed 2 to 3 more fights before he stepped in the ring with Tank Davis or Devin Haney. Now, it's logically thinking about that. If Reynoso said this, Luke Campbell's on the level of those 2 guys. So if you think he needs 2 or 3 fights before he's stepping in the ring with them, logically, he probably thinks he needs a little more time before Luke Campbell. But like somebody said earlier, since you want to push the pencil, we're going to push you in there with him.
Yeah. That's the only reason I think we getting this goddamn fight, because it just so happens at a time when the WBC ordered it, you going through shit with your promoter. Your promoter don't care what happened to you right now. So he like, man, you know what? Do what the fuck you want to do. You want to fight Campbell? Go ahead, because you know so fucking much, Ryan Garcia.
Yeah. And if you go in there and get your ass slept, I tell you like this, you better keep that confidence up. You better take that L, wear it, learn from it, and become a better fighter. Because if not, anything less, I'm gonna flame the hell out of Ryan.
Not even that. If you go in there and lose, guess who don't get to bother me about fucking purses? You can't keep complaining to me if you just lost to Luke Campbell. You can't keep talking this money shit if you just lost to Luke Campbell. So you know what, Ryan? Do your thing, Ryan. We ain't gonna hold you back. Go ahead, Ryan. That's how they looking at it. I don't know that he's done being brought along, man. I don't know. We gonna find out though. That's the
if I can make Yeah,
Go ahead,
yeah, I
Abdul.
think it'll be
Go
a
ahead,
good fight regardless. But if I can make a quick comparison, I feel like this is, and hopefully I'm wrong here, and I don't think the results of the fight will be the same, but to me, this is almost like a Victor Ortiz versus Marcos Maidana, right? Victor Ortiz is the hot guy coming off of a string of knockouts, and Maidana's coming off of a loss in a title fight, so they throw him in there with Victor Ortiz Maidana, right? And Maidana shows him there's levels to this game. Like, you can knock out guys who are lesser than you, but that doesn't mean that you can step up to the occasion against guys who even come up short for the titles, barely, right? Luke Campbell comes up short versus Jorge Linares. Luke Campbell comes up short versus Lomachenko, but he came up, just an inch behind Linares, who was this dominant champion at lightweight for a minute, and he was a ring champion, right? Ryan Garcia is still prospect. He's knocking out guys. He looks good, but can he prove it in the ring? Can he go 12 rounds with someone who's going to be tricky, rangy, moving around, jabbing? Like Luke Campbell, because Luke Campbell, he's not gonna let Ryan Garcia get on the inside or mid range and fire off a big left hook. He's gonna, every time Ryan Garcia takes one step forward, he's gonna take 2 steps back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Golden Boy should be paying us for hyping this fight. That's what I think, because we selling a lot of goddamn intrigue here for free.
That's the thing, though. See, the difference between Campbell and Garcia. Campbell knows what to do, especially going down the stretch. Garcia don't.
Yes. Campbell has instincts and muscle memory and an amateur pedigree that's better than Ryan's and a professional record that's more experienced than Ryan's. To top it all off, you stepping up, right? But you stepping up against a southpaw. Not an orthodox fighter, like he's a southpaw. They's the most frustrating motherfuckers to fight. And that's your step up. It don't look good. Look, I ain't gonna say it don't look good. I'm gonna say I legitimately don't know.
Yeah, I tell you this too. Like, people talk about the loss to Lomachenko with Luke Campbell, right? If we look at that loss with Lomachenko, Luke Campbell held his own in there. It's not like he got demolished in that fight. So I'm taking this, okay. Yes, he lost to Lomachenko, but he held his own in the ring, and he lost to a guy who's a fucking wizard in the ring. So when you lose to a guy like that, and then you go to fight a Ryan Garcia, how much easier is that job?
Yeah. It's like you was carrying around a 90-pound bag of bricks, right? And then they gave you a 5-pound bag of, like, oh, I gotta fight. Oh, this ain't shit. I got this. This ain't shit. Telling you, man. Well, look, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. We'll talk more about the fights. I hope Ryan Garcia has this fight. I hope nothing mess it up, because I'm looking forward to it. I agree with D 100%. If we gonna put pressure on everybody else to step up, Ryan got to get that same pressure. We got to keep that energy. I want him to have the fight. A part of me even wants him to win. I want him to win. I just don't know if he can. Or listen more on Dragon Ball Z. Thank you, gentlemen. I'm here all week.
Have a good evening.
Have a good evening. Peace.
All right.